Robert De Niro has been about as subtle as a sledgehammer to the face when it comes to his feelings about Trump.
He's so stupid. Look at the lame, inane things that he said. He's so stupid, he can't even say anything clever or smooth. He's a moron. This guy has proven himself to be a total loser.
Don't hold back, Bobby. Tell us how you really feel. Today, we're counting down the top 10 most jaw-dropping things Robert De Niro has said about Donald Trump. What happens when one of cinema's toughest guys decides to take on a billionaire-turned-president? Absolute verbal warfare. Robert De Niro just went full New Yorker on Trump. And when I say full New Yorker, I mean the kind of no-filter commentary you'd hear on a Brooklyn street corner. In 2016, as Trump's presidential campaign was gaining momentum, De Niro didn't just dip his toe into political commentary, he did a cannonball into the deep end. In a video that instantly went viral, the Oscar winner unleashed a barrage of insults that sounded like he was reading from a thesaurus of playground taunts.
He's so blatantly stupid. He's a punk, he's a dog, he's a pig, he's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't do his homework. It makes me so angry that this country has gotten to this point, that this fool, this bozo, has wound up where he has.
But De Niro wasn't done. He continued his verbal assault by directly referring to Trump's own rhetoric about physical confrontation.
He talks how he wants to punch people in the face. Well, I'd like to punch him in the face. Thinks he's gaming society, doesn't pay his taxes. He's an idiot. Colin Powell said it best. He's a national disaster. He's an embarrassment to this country. This is somebody that we want for president? I don't think so.
Talk about not mincing words. While most celebrities were carefully tiptoeing around political statements, De Niro was basically performing a verbal equivalent of his baseball bat scene from Casino. If you thought that was intense, hold on to your MAGA hats, folks. De Niro was just warming up. Next up, he decided to give Trump a psychological evaluation that would make Sigmund Freud raise an eyebrow. During a Kimmel interview, De Niro went full armchair psychologist on Trump, diagnosing him with more conditions than a medical textbook.
He is a malignant narcissist. He's a socio-psychopath. He's created some new language as far as describing somebody in his mental condition. It's so frightening and scary, and he's dangerous. We got to get rid of him.
Trump didn't take too kindly to De Niro's words, and Jimmy Kimmel pointed out how the Donald shot back with a few thoughts of his own.
Robert De Niro, a very low IQ individual, has received he spelled two wrong, many shots to the head by real boxers in movies. I watched him last night, truly believe he may be punch drunk, and then he says, at the end, he says, "Wake up, punchy," he says to you. And that's not the only time, and he moved over to Truth Social. Robert De Niro, whose acting talents have greatly diminished with his reputation now shot, must even use a teleprompter for his foul and disgusting language. So disrespectful to our country.
In these moments, De Niro wasn't just throwing random insults. The actor appeared genuinely concerned that Trump's psychological traits made him unfit to be in the Oval Office, expressing it with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer hitting a watermelon. De Niro took it to the next level by comparing Trump to one of history's most notorious figures. Spoiler alert, it ain't Gandhi. De Niro went where few celebrities dare to tread, straight to the Hitler comparison.
I don't think they really understand. And historically, from what I see, even in Nazi Germany, they had it with Hitler.
In another instance, he elaborated on this theme with even more direct language.
The idea to be bullied at my age by someone like this is not happening. And I think other people are going to have to stand up and just, because it's either that or you're going to find yourself in a situation that's so terrifying. We always hear about people from Eastern Europe, the Jews from other parts of Eastern Europe, from Western Europe coming over. Look what happened in France with the Nazis and so on.
De Niro continued this historical comparison by reflecting on his own childhood thoughts.
And when I was a kid, they'd say, "You don't really appreciate this country. You don't really appreciate what we know from experience." Imagine what those people went through. I'm just starting to see it. As a kid, I said, Hitler, it's a nightmare that never would happen. But now I see that it's possible.
While many criticized this as an exaggeration, De Niro seemed genuinely concerned about perceived parallels, making it clear this wasn't just for shock value, but a serious warning from his perspective. From historical comparisons to Broadway stages, De Niro's next Trump commentary was so brief, yet so explosive, that it broke the internet faster than a Kardashian photo shoot. In 2018, De Niro decided that the perfect venue for his political commentary was the Tony Awards, because nothing says Broadway celebration, like dropping an F-bomb about the president on live television, right?
Trump. It's no longer down with Trump, it's Trump.
The applause was deafening, and the standing ovation endless. Pure, unfiltered De Niro. No buildup, no context. Just 2 words that sent CBS censors into panic mode and created one of the most viral political moments in award show history. It was dubbed the clip seen around the world. After turning the Tony Awards into an R-rated political rally, De Niro decided to get creative with his insults. Move over Shakespeare, there's a new wordsmith in town. As Trump's presidency continued, De Niro's arsenal of insults evolved to include more creative descriptors. He started branching out from standard criticism into more colorful territory. At one point, he even dubbed the orange one a deep fake president. I mean, we've all seen those bizarre AI videos, but calling Trump that? Now that's a fresh take. He didn't stop there. In various interviews, De Niro continued to expand his Trump vocabulary.
Well, I don't know. It's just that people like the outlaw type thing, except we have a wannabe gangster in the White House now.
Yeah. He does. He tries to act like a tough guy.
Yeah.
He tries to act like a made man, yeah.
Yeah, like a made guy,
De Niro even got specific with mob terminology, relating to his extensive experience in gangster films.
You call in a certain, you'd say, disappointed Dunsky. And a Dunsky is the way of calling a Don, sort of a contracted way of a Don.
Oh, really?
And so a D and a DD, you'd call him. Disappointed Dunsky.
Really?
That's what he is. He's a dumbbell.
The actor's creative wordplay showed that when it came to criticizing Trump, De Niro wasn't just angry. He was putting his decades of character study to work. While most celebrities throw a punch and run, De Niro decided to take his battle to Trump's home turf. Because nothing says, "I'm serious," like standing on the steps outside Trump's courtroom in New York, proving he was willing to put his feet where his mouth was. This move generated mixed reactions, with even some liberal commentators questioning the effectiveness.
Donald Trump popping off on the Biden campaign's De Niro stunt, which bombed harder than Robert's last 5 movies. The actor was outside the Trump courthouse, letting his undiagnosed Trump derangement syndrome get the best of him. And even the liberal media was embarrassed.
This was a bad idea. This entire thing was not a great idea.
By physically appearing at the courthouse, De Niro transformed his criticism from words into action, demonstrating his willingness to publicly stand by his convictions, even if it meant becoming part of the media circus himself. If you thought De Niro's criticism was just about Trump's politics, think again. Next up, the actor gets personal about Trump's character, and let's just say he doesn't see any redeeming qualities. When asked if he would ever consider playing Trump in a film, De Niro didn't just say no. He delivered a scathing assessment of Trump's character that left absolutely no room for interpretation.
You've played a lot of bad guys. Would you ever play Donald Trump?
Never. There's nothing about him, there's not one redeeming thing in him that I can see ever. He's so, as we all know, so narcissistic and self-centered.
In other interviews, De Niro expanded on his assessment of Trump's character.
I'm tired of calling him names. He just can't be anywhere near the office of the presidency. It's funny, I was just thinking that he actually became president. He could have done good things. Instead, he had to do it all wrong.
This wasn't just about politics or policy disagreements. De Niro claiming Trump lacks even one redeeming quality, not only as a president, but as a human being. Most critics of Trump focus on his policies or statements. But De Niro, he went straight for Trump's New York credentials. And when one New Yorker calls out another's authenticity, That's when things really get heated up. De Niro took particular offense to Trump claiming to represent the city's values and spirit. He used his own New York credibility to challenge Trump's authenticity.
About who Donald Trump was in 2016. You're a lifetime New Yorker, so is he, and you said the country does not realize who this fraudster is, and not enough people listened.
De Niro expanded on this theme, suggesting that Trump betrayed the true spirit of the city.
I love this city. I don't want to destroy it. Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world. We New Yorkers used to tolerate him when he was just another grubby real estate hustler masquerading as a big shot, a two-bit playboy lying his way into the tabloids to fool the press into inflating his net worth. A clown.
This critique hit differently because it wasn't just about politics. It was one New York icon essentially telling another, "You're not a real New Yorker." In the context of New York culture, that's the equivalent of questioning someone's very identity. While most critics focus on the past, De Niro's next comments looked to the future, and it wasn't exactly a rosy prediction. In one of his most alarming criticisms, De Niro went beyond criticizing Trump's past actions to issue a stark warning about what he feared could happen with Trump's return to office.
I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye that we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave. He will never leave. What does that mean? Is that the country we want to live in? Do we want him running this country and saying, I'm not leaving, I'm dictator for life?
This wasn't just criticism. It was De Niro expressing genuine fear about the potential end of American democracy as we know it. While Trump supporters dismiss this as extreme exaggeration on De Niro's part, he is truly frightened for this country. In a surprising twist, De Niro declared he was done with name-calling. Not because he changed his mind about Trump, but because he believes the situation had become too serious for mere insults.
I'm not calling him, I'm tired of calling him names. He just can't be anywhere near the office of the presidency. It's funny, I was just thinking that he actually became president. He could have done good things. Instead, he had to do it all wrong.
This shift from colorful insults to sober assessment revealed something deeper about De Niro's criticism. It wasn't just about getting attention or expressing anger. It reflected genuine concern about the country's direction. When Jimmy Kimmel asked why he was so vocal about Trump, De Niro simply stated,
It's so frightening and scary, and he's dangerous. We got to get rid of him.
Do you ever?
This final statement perhaps best captures the core of De Niro's long years of criticism. Beneath the colorful language and theatrical delivery was what he perceived as a genuine threat that demanded people pay attention. This verbal boxing match between an acting legend and the Donald shows no signs of cooling down anytime soon. In fact, with Trump's recent election win, we might just be entering round 2 of this heavyweight war of words. So what do you think? Is De Niro justified in his harsh criticism, or should celebrities keep their political opinions to themselves? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to watch the next deep dive into Hollywood's most dramatic real-life rivalries. You're gonna love it.